Yeah. So in the last session, we talked about the Informatica cloud architecture, where we understood two broader layers like on-prem and cloud, and how they talk to each other also. We have talked about it, correct? Yeah. So now that we need to understand like how this particular cloud is going to work in reality. Yeah. I hope all of you could able to see my desktop, right? If you look at this particular which one secure agents, right? Can you see here? You can see one of them here. This is a local agent. You can click on it to see the details of this on-prem agent, right? This is agent name. This is our system name. 64-bit is selected, and it supports only 64. This is a host name. The status is up and running. If you look at here, right, data integration server, which is up and running. Others are not required. That is why I stopped them. And then last data change, whatever, right, today, right? So I just started now only. Then created, updated. October 31st, we have just registered, right? And updated part November 2. Some modifications I have done. Who created this? Admin. And then updated by agent. This is our latest version that we are using. It's up to date. So, which means we registered on that day, right? That was the last upgraded one that we are trying to use. Yeah. Yeah. Now, when it comes to different services as part of this local agent is what? The first and foremost thing is what? Data integration server. That's what we are going to focus on. Then we have other services here, process server, common integration components, and OI data collector. Yeah. So these are required in case you perform those aspects, processor related things, and also common integration components. Anyway, we will see as we go on. Now we are going to focus on data integration server to perform data integration activities by using data integration service offered by Informatica Cloud or IICS. Yeah. Now I stopped it. Can you see here? In the bottom, there is a separate category called agent service start or stop, where we can see multiple services, right? I just selected one of them on like process server, OI, common integration components. Yeah, one by one, I just selected and then click on stop. Yeah. For example, let's say now this is up and running, right? It just stopped, it will be stopped. Yeah. Anyway, now we need it, let it be there. So that's it. Then agent package details if you want to know. So for each, we can understand data integration, which contains what I call these packages. You know, all of them, Salesforce, like CSC, JDBC, ODI, whatever, right? These are all the packages. Similarly, we can also see system configuration details. So these things are required in case if you want to optimize this particular agent. Yeah. I think you guys would have seen even Power Center also, you have got PM source there, PM target file there, PM cache there, PM temp there, all that, right? So path settings. So similar things we could also able to see even here also. Yeah. So like OS profile you have right in Power Center. Same thing we will also have it here. If you want to change, you could also change it here by clicking on edit here. Yeah. These are admin activities, global activities I'm trying to talk here. Likewise, you can see many other what do you call variables and corresponding values on the right side. If you want to add extra things also, we could also add it by clicking on add. That's it. Yeah. This is about agent stuff. Yeah. Any questions on this, please, with respect to agent? Yeah. So once we know that, now let's move on to, or we can also start creation of a connection. Can you see here? So there are connections, right? Where we can create our own connection at global level. Like even Power Center, we can also create a global connection admin console, right? Same way, we can also do it here. Let us try doing it. Click on new connection. Yes. I'll just put here file underscore connection. Fine. And description is optional, but you can just put same as connection name. And we are trying to do, let's say, flat file. Right? We'll go one by one. Yes. Now in the bottom, we could able to see runtime environment. Now we have got one local agent which is up and running. We can also see like what it does on the right side, right? Plus directory. So let's say C source. So make sure that we got this particular directory over here, right? Like so I've already created. There are some sample files in it, right? So and date format it will be default, and code page we can select as Microsoft Windows Latin 1. Save it. Anyway, depending upon the language that we deal with, right, we can select appropriate code page. Yeah. Anyway, if you are dealing with English, then anything is fine. If not, we have to pick up the right one. Yeah. So click on test connection. So this is the first and foremost thing we need to do, guys, to create a connection from scratch. See here, test for this connection successful because we have got directory exists. Yeah. So that's it. Now you can just close it. See, now it appears here. The first connection we created, right? If you want to edit, you can click on it, get the details modified. Yeah, this is the one thing. And next, can you see here, if you want to make a copy, you could also do it. Later on, you can also edit it because some of the properties will be derived from previous connection. Yeah. And if you look at this dependency, show dependencies, right? In case if some mappings or any assets or any other activities that are dependent on this particular connection. Let's see. Now we have got one agent which is dependent on this because we referred agent, right? So we can see what is that dependency here. Nothing is there now because we have not yet started. We have just created this connection. No, nothing else. Yeah. So agent, this is using agent. That's what it means. So we can also see again status opposite here. So this is dependent on local agent. That's it. And if you want to delete, you can also click on it. If you want to protect, you can change the permission. See here, by default, you will have default permissions. If you want to add our own users, groups, corresponding roles, right? Roles means read, update, delete, execute. These are the roles. We can also do it. Let it be default. When I talk about admin activities, right? I'll talk about how to add a user, how to add a group, associate, user to a group, user to a role, group to a role, all that. Yeah? That anyway, I'm going to talk as part of admin activities. Yeah. So yes, let's say we are focusing on develop activities, but that the first and foremost thing is what access layer, right? Which we discussed as part of life cycle. So to access it, we have to have connection. That we created it, right? That's it. Now, so we can go to services, and can you see here, logically speaking, we need to go with what as per the life cycle. We need to go with what profiling. That's a discover layer, right? Yeah. And after that, data quality. After that, MDM. So MDM has got multiple services offered as part of the cloud. Yeah. Like we could able to see in the bottom. Can you see MDM cloud? Business 360 console, which is similar to Informatica MDM hub console. And then customer 360, specific to customer 360 activities, where we can add a record to a customer, modify, consume, or delete, or whatever. The product 360 is same. For product specific, reference 360 is for lookup or business data can be maintained here. Similarly for supply 360, and this guy is a multi-domain edition. If you want it, we can also go there. So we've got multiple specific services offered by Informatica Cloud, especially in the context of MDM. These are disabled because we don't have a license for it. So that's it. Now let us select data integration. So we know profiling, quality, MDM. Then next there is what? Data integration. So that's what we are going to talk as part of this training, right? Yeah. Once you get in there, the first and foremost thing, a dashboard stuff at home, where we can see one runtime environment, right? Which is this, right? And one connection, just now we created it. And projects, yes, you can just click on create a project. By default, you'll have default project. If you want to create our own project, can you see here? We can create it. I'll just put here dev project. Yeah. So this way, we can create what project from the scratch. Yeah. Now you can just click on it. You can also create what folders. So likewise, you can create a complete folder structure. Yeah. That's it. It's also demo. Or you can put here extract. That's it. Now the question, in case if someone has already built it, multiple assets configuration, we could as well import here. Yeah. So which is already exported by somebody. Right? I think Ali was trying to ask this question only, right? This so we can get it imported. Ali. So yes. Now that we know how to create a project, how to create underlying folder. Yeah. So here we don't have any assets because we have not yet started. And assets, yes, these are the multiple assets over here. Synchronization task, application task, mapping, so task flow. Yeah, we have some many more. If you click on view all, so you'll get to see all. Yeah, so only one is selected. Fine. Now let's go back to home page. So my jobs, nothing is there. Once you start doing it, done right, then you will be able to say it. So that's it. Now let us start getting into creation of new asset configuration. Can you see here? We got multiple assets. Yep. Tasks, mappings, maplets, task flows, components. The first and foremost thing, let's start with what? Mappings, where we can perform ETL operations. Yep. So click on mapping and say create. Yeah. Yeah. So in this, so we can see this is going to be the mapping workspace. Yeah. On the right top, you can see toolbar, like a zoom in, zoom out, copy, cut, delete, look at and arrange, and monitoring stuff, operation insights. And here you can see here in the palette, right, all the transformations like the source, target, aggregator, and so on, right? This includes even data quality transformations like plunge, deduplicate, and we have some more data cleansing activities. So that all can just skip out. You can just focus on what I call data index parts is also part of quality, tool specification quality. So then rest anyway, they're part of this also quality. Rest is part of integration. These are multiple transformations, right? Now, in the bottom, you could able to see properties. For example, the focus is on mapping workspace. So mapping properties. So we can supply mapping name. Let's say mapping source, target, and location. If you want, we can use default, or we can also specify our own location, which is, let's say, dev as a project, extract as a folder, and description. Yeah. So we are trying to what I call understand the environment to do this particular example, where we will configure the source, target, link, and see whether we could able to transfer data from source to a target with a given local agent. So that's what we are going to see. Yeah. So I hope all of you could able to hear me, right? Yes, sir. No?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah, because I kept on talking. If you have any questions, right, you can always stop me. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear me, Nazima?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, one question. The first thing what you did is you located the file in our laptop, right? So, but in the corporate, we would have this file somewhere in the
Network.
source, or maybe on like on site. This file would be there, right? Or
Mhm.
maybe it's going to be somewhere in the cloud, Microsoft Cloud or somewhere, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got your question. Correct me if I'm wrong. In case if the file is located other than local, how do you do it? One. So let's say network path. We can just add a path to access any remote file. That's one thing. And second, in case if it is located in the cloud, like Amazon, Google, or whatever, right? In that case, we can create that particular connection and get the data from that particular connection. So for cloud, We got separate connectors to take care of it. And for normal files, for example, the file is located in US data center, then they just have to provide access and path, network path they can supply here. Then connect it. So these are the two ways. Got right? Cloud, we need to have connector. For normal file, which is in some other data center, some other, let's say from your system, you need to access from here. So you need to enable global access. So here you can just add network path and supply the network path as part of the connection so that we could able to get the data from there. Now, like a
Got it.
mapping a
Thanks.
drive. Yeah, yeah, fine. Okay. I think you got the answer, right? Yeah,
Yes.
fine. Now let us start getting into configuration of source. Yeah, you can supply. So let's say name of this particular transformation. It's a source file transformation because we are dealing with a file. Then source properties. So here, can you see here? We got here restore. This is going to be maximize. This is going to be minimize. If you maximize, you'll get a complete screen. So where we can just see existing connections. Can you see here? There's only one connection because we have just created as part of administrator service. Yes, sir. Yeah. So that part we do it already, right? Yeah. So now if you want to create our own connection, you could also do it here. Click on new connection. So let's say I'll just put here source connection. Fine. And select a flat file, select agent, then supply this path. Just anyway, default. Yeah. So which means we can create the connection at the time of creation of the mapping, or we can also make all the connections ready at global level, which would be done by the administrator, right? So these are the two ways. Yeah, clear, right?
I mean, do we have the accessibility to provide the permission also here while creating connection through data integration?
Permission means like you to relevant user.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, but for that we have to use administrator. Here we
okay,
don't do it as creation. We don't do it in
right.
administrator. We create a user and provide access. That's where we can do
Okay,
it. Yeah.
okay.
Uh, uh,
Yes, we will.
Narsimha, actually, it's the same question. So actually, I know the usually in the business, they will be having the files on the Unix environment, some folder, right? Something there's keep the files there. Uh, so how do we connect if it is in Unix location, not on the local drive? So how do we give the connection details to that servers and all if it is a
Yeah,
file?
yeah, that's a good question. Remember, at the time of downloading agent, right? We have seen it
Mm-hmm.
for Windows 64 and Unix 64 or Linux 64. Yes or no? Which means in case if you are dealing with the Unix platform, right, then we need to install the separate agent. So Windows agent can't be used for that. Vipula, you got right. Then it would understand Unix file system or Unix activities. Yeah,
Okay. You mean the service agent that we installed on your
exactly.
Windows? That is the reason it's taking from this location, right?
Exactly. You are right. Yeah.
But if you're
I
doing
think we will have
Linux,
to,
you can.
yes. Yeah, let me
Okay.
try to show. I think at the time of download, we have seen that, if I remember correctly. Let me go back. I'm just saving that. Yeah, can you see here? This is the one I'm trying to talk about. Lining 64, you need to select Nicola.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we can access Linux. Yeah, fine. Let us go back to data integration.
Is
But
the data info integration service is something integration that this looks like more like Informatica Power Center designer, right? Is it correct?
it is a collection of, I would say, all. Yeah, like a designer and also workflow manager and also repository manager. Monitor is only one thing, which is it's a different interface. This is a my jobs. So which means
Okay.
one in all. All in one, sorry, opposite. All in one. In the sense, in single interface, you'll get to see four clients functionalities. Like in Power Center, we got four separate clients, right? Rep manager,
Yes.
work
Yes.
manager, workflow manager, and
Workflow monitor, workflow manager.
yes. We got
Oh,
four
you have.
clients, right? So you can see all of
Hmm.
them here. Example, let's say this is the monitoring part, right? And then, and then, if you look at this particular mapping workspace, right? Yeah. So this is going to be the designer, clear, right? Vipula? Now, in
Yeah, got
workflow
it.
manager, we configure source, target, connections, all that, right? So this is going to be the workflow manager, right? Yes or no? So,
Yeah.
and yeah, so which means it's a collection of all, you can say. That is why, so I think we talked about it, right? Beginning itself, which means we talked about life cycle. So life cycle has got multiple products. Yeah. All the products are available as part of this IICS in terms of what services, like you can see, right? So that's it. Which means we don't need separate interface to get there. Like for example, if you want Power Center, then we need to install Power Center. If you want data quality, you need to install data quality. If you want MDM is separate product need to be installed. So here's nothing is required. Once you register, right, provide if you have license, right, you'll get to see all the services in one go. Clear, right? That is a benefit, major benefit we get it here. Along with that, we don't need to install, maintain all that. I think we talked about it, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, if you go to this particular explore, where whatever is done under dev project and extract folder, all of them can be seen here. Can you see here? One, we have just done it, but it's not complete. It is not valid. So you can just go back there instead of creating another one and then start getting it modified. Yeah. See here, these are the validation issues. Let me close that now. We'll fix it one by one. Yeah. So now, so let us select a source and maximize it. And we configured the connection properties like path, agent, description, code page. Yes, sir, I think we have already given that, and date format. Now, single object, let's say we are going to pull the data from a single file, then we can use it. File list, this is similar to Power Center. Yeah. So like a list, like if you have n number of files where we need to get the data, yeah, then we can go with what file list, but provided the structure should be same. Yeah. List files and file list are indirect. Indirect is also indirect is option, right? We have command in case if you want to pull the data through command, we can have shell script or simple command to pull the data and parameterize. This is one of the good feature in this cloud version where we can completely parameterize, which means can be parameterized, target can be parameterized, even transformations also can be parameterized. So which means once you build an asset, let's say mapping asset with complete parameterization, then user can supply values to those parameters at runtime. So that's what we do as part of this particular what you call parameterization. Clear? So that's it. Let's say we are starting with a single object. Now we can just click on select. Yes. So these are the multiple files we have it. If you go and look at here, can you see? These are the ones. So those things are listed as part of this, right? That select one of them. Let's say SC21, where we could able to see the sample data. So we've got three columns, namely C1, C2, and C3 with the corresponding sample data. So which contains comma delimited data, even last row also, but one row first column contains empty, which is null data. So just to verify null related things. Yeah. So that's it. So let us select this. In case we have too many things, we can also apply search criteria. Click on search. You'll get to see all the files. It starts with SEQ, like a pattern match. Yeah. Say OK. So we've not selected it. Select and say OK. So that's it. I hope this source property is clear, right? Ali, Vinod, and Vipula.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, now can you see here? These things are supported for database, and if we are dealing with a file, so they're not applicable. And if you look at here, advanced properties, we've got tracing level, which is exactly similar to Power Center, like the verbose in it, verbose data, that's normal. Default anyway, normal, meaning we'll get to see informative messages. Yeah. Thousands separated by default null. For some countries, they have comma period, whatever, you can just use it. Decimal separated period, that's a default. In case if you want to have your own source file directory, source file name, we can also have it. Now, next question, the fields. Can you see here? When you try to get an object which is SEQ1, in this case, in that particular file, we could able to see meta elements, which includes column name, column type, precision, scale, and from which file these columns have been derived. All that can be seen over here, right? If you want to search specific columns, in case you have too many, right? We can also search for it. If you want to add, we can also add it and delete or whatever. Plus, let's if you want to modify what you call metadata, then go to options where you can see edit metadata. Yeah. Then let's say we expect only integer data. Then we can also supply integer. Yeah. Anyway, we got integer data, right? Yeah. So we will see only integer data. Yeah. Similarly, we can also change other columns based on the type of data that we expect by using what? Edit metadata. Yeah. Use technical field names, so technical field names, which means these are the ones, this one and this one. Show labels. So let us say, in case if you want to apply label for each column, we can also enable that. We can also use what we call labels in case if you are following that. But anyway, we are following technical field names. So let us stick to that. Yeah. Plus, add currently processed file name field. Same thing we have it in Power Center also. In the sense, whatever file that we are processing, right, that we added as part of the target, retain existing fields at runtime, like whatever is available. So that's it. Then click on restore. Can you see the restore button? So it will just go back to the normal position, which is a default one. So this way, we could able to configure the source file connection properties. Connection properties plus path and others. Yeah, that's this.
Yeah, Narasimha, you just changed the metadata for like one of the columns, like C1, and change it to integer.
Right.
So if in the future, if let's say I receive a file and the C1 is not an integer, it is virtual. So what will happen? Like,
Let's say instead of integer, let's say we got a string data. Is that what I mean?
yeah,
In that case, data would get truncated. It will not be read. So it will be rejected. So yes. So which means this particular type system part, right? Like it had a type name and also length, precision, scale, all that, right? Need to be taken care as part of metadata. Designers, whoever is going to design metadata, they have to take care. If they made a mistake, that mistake will be repeated. But we can just come here and change it, but that is not advisable unless this change will occur in near future or all the time. They'll just come back based on change request and then get it modified. You know, that is always possible. Ali.
okay.
Yeah. So that's about source. Now let us look at the target. Same thing. Maximize it. Let's say target file. So we can see incoming fields. Can you see here? All the fields. One is integer, other two are strings. Can you see there are field rules actually? In a sense, what to be included, what to be excluded. So by default, all will be included. In case if you want to include only specific or exclude specific, we could as well do that based on name fields, based on the type. For example, if we select a type, you know, and yeah, field by data types. You know. So then, if you want to rename, we could as well do it over here. You know, school details. Can you see here data types? Let's say we selected integer. Can you see? Now we could able to see only integer based column. Yeah. Likewise, we can include the columns of what we need based on the type. This is one of the field selection criteria based on the type. Yeah. Likewise, based on the names also we have seen it, right? So that's it. Yeah. This way we can add what you call rules. If you don't want it, select all the fields, go over here, and yeah, if you want to apply, you can apply else. You'll get all the fields. Can you see? All the fields can be seen here. That's also one of the field selection criteria. All fields by type you have seen it. Similarly, name also, or just the pattern also, like A star, C star, right? C star means all you get. It's just like what limiting the data based on our own specific columns. Now,
So nice, Kumar.
yes, please.
So now we have this field selection, right? So if there is some data that definitely it will not go in, right? If it's not meeting the selection criteria, right?
Right. If you
So
select
so
teacher, right, only C1 data will be transferred to a target here.
yeah. So the rest of the data, can I like transfer it somewhere else? Like all the rejections which are not
No.
fulfilling the criteria.
No. In case if you want other column data, we can add other target. So where we connect from source to second target, in second target, we capture, let's say C2 and C3. So that way we can take care. Yeah. It's not
Oh,
a real
okay.
rejection. We are explicitly doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine. Now let's go to target and configure target connection properties and click on new connection. Yeah. Here we have TGT folder, or we can also select create one more folder. Yeah, TGT is already there. There are some target files. You want to create a no, here also we have it. Yeah, let us create it. Let's say TGT1. Yeah, test. See, this what we get error because TGT1 does not exist, right? So we can create. And let's put TGT batch 2. Yeah, not successful. That's it. Yeah. Now say okay. Okay. Now click on select. Here, if you already have the target, right? Existing file, right? We can select it. Now nothing is there. So we can also create new at runtime, or we can create empty file with a structure in it, then select it. That's also possible. Yeah. Let's say we'll leave it to this guy to create target file at runtime. So seq underscore tjt dot txt. Yeah. Say okay. We can also create user dynamic file, like whatever, right? Similar to Power Center. That's it. Now with this, can we see target fields? No, because we are asking this guy to generate a file at runtime. Mapping, can it be done? No, because it's a dynamic file, right? But all the columns, data, right, would be transferred to a target. But if you have selected existing file, then we have to map it explicitly. That's the difference between selection of existing and new. New means we don't need to do anything. Existing means we have to map it explicitly. That's it. Clear, right? Any questions on this? Like how to create a
So,
target field?
what do you mean by existing file? Does the file have already data?
Existing file, it could have data, it could have only empty structure. It could be one of them.
Okay, okay. If it is existing data, it will append or like it will.
That you can specify option, append or override, whatever. Yes.
Okay.
So by default, yes, override. Yeah, in a sense, truncate, like remove existing data and place new data in the file. Simple.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. So now I think we've already given mapping name, location, all that we've done. Now we can just save it. Yeah. So now can you see here? It's valid. Earlier we saw there are some validation errors here, right? Because we did not configure that time, right? Now nothing is there. Everything is fine. So validation would include syntax issues, semantic issues, and link issues. So in case of any link issue, also it will be able to see it. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Now we can just yeah. See here, we perform now repository manager part, designer part, and workflow manager. 3 clans are covered. Now we are trying to run it. From workflow manager we can run or workflow monitor. Run it. Now click on my jobs where we could able to monitor this. This is workflow monitor. Yeah. Yes, that's it about step-by-step operations. Yeah. Here you can see here asset name. So we can specify any filter because we just started, right? Only one is that. A multiple, right? Select one of them. Or if you click on cross, it means all will be seen, which is whatever assets that we have created. See here. So this under this location, we don't have any subtask, start time, end time, number of rows processed, and status. And if you want to see restart this particular mapping, we could as well do that. And if you click on this particular instance, -1 indicates first run or first instance. If you click on it, where we could able to say this is a task name. Remember, in Power Center also, can we run the mapping directly? Answer is no. Because we have to create corresponding task, which we call session task, right? Because mapping just like a blueprint or a skeleton or a template. And to execute it, you have to have an object. What is that object in this Power Center? Session task. Here, mapping task. That's what we can see here. So by default, for every mapping, if you try to run it directly, it is going to create a task which is equal to mapping name here. Instance ID first time we executed, that's type 1. Task type is what mapping. So this is a user that we have used to log on, right? Like we registered with this ID. But later we can also add our own users log on with that. Then that user would appear as part of this, and start time, end time, and time taken to complete this particular mapping task, right? And this is a runtime environment we are using, and status is successful. 5 rows have been transferred, no errors. If you want to look at the log, which is exactly similar to Power Center. See, can you see in the bottom matrix can be seen here? Source, 5 rows have been read. Target, all the 5 rows have been written with no errors. That's it. This is the what
Where
it
can we
calls
find the
simple example.
throughput rows?
Yes, please.
Where can we find the throughput rows or bytes information, like how we do in the monitor, right?
Oh, progress.
Yeah.
Okay, here itself. So here itself we could able to see. You can just refresh periodically. You'll get to see that.
No, not the progress. So basically, you throughput rows, right? When the session runs, so you know the throughput rows. Like, is it processing 1 row per second or 1,000 rows per second?
Okay, so that monitoring details, and there are monitoring details. So those
Okay.
things you'll not get it as part of this. In commercial, you'll get it. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Per second, how many rows have been processed? Yeah. Okay. So that's it. If you want to arrange based on whatever, right, instance or set, whatever, right, we could as well do that. And if you want to apply the filter condition, we could do that. Yeah. So this is without filter. This, let's say, with filter. Yeah. This filter could be based on this, or it could be based on this. Yeah. Let's say if we select any asset type. Yeah. Example, map. Nothing is there. Yeah. Or if you select any asset type, yeah, then we can see here based on asset type or whatever, based on whatever you want, you can just select it. For example, based on map. See here, you can see mapping related things. Yeah. So that's it about the environment part. It is successful. Now we can just go back to this TGT batch 2. We selected, right? We created that folder. In that, the file got created. So generate at runtime is selected, right? In this, we could able to say, see all the columns. See, if first column is integer, other columns are strings. So we got all the rows which are transferred to a target. Yes or no? Guys? Yeah.
Yes.
One thing which I did not talk about here is if you go to this particular what you call file, let's start from the beginning. Source. If you select a source, this is a file, right? Formatting options. So here we can see delimited, comma as a default. That's why we got all the rows. In case if the default is something else, then we would have not got it. We would have not got it, means it would have created only one column, right? If it is a tab or whatever. Right? Row delimiter, if you want, we can select it by default new line. Just qualify double quotes. That is why target data they have been enclosed with what? Double quotes. Remember that. Yeah. So that's a default test qualified. If you want, we can get it changed to singular. Escape character in case if you want to skip out some special characters like apostrophe or whatever, right? Then we can specify escape character over here and import from row 1. So from the beginning, start getting it imported, including header. First line would be treated as header, and from second line onwards, it would treat what? Data line. That's it. Clear, right? That's it. Once we specify these format settings, we could also verify it by clicking on preview data. Yep. See here, you could able to see. In case if you have changed any format settings, accordingly, this particular preview would get changed. See, now it is trying to change it. Yeah. See, one we got it in only one column, which will be of a type string by default. Yep. So this is similar to PowerShell, there is nothing different from that. Say comma, then you'll get to see all. That's all. Yep. I think we covered more or less all the options except this parameterization. That anyway, I'll talk about it when we talk about complete parameterization, partial parameterization, with a file, without a file. All that I'm going to talk when we get into parameterization topic. So that's it. Yeah.
Narasimha, one question. So you
Yes.
just showed the file loaded, right? So you have specified in the properties that first row would be the header, where the fields will be there. So why the fields are also chosen as a string? Like why they are in the uh, uh,
By default, field names will be set of characters, a single or more than one character, right? So that is why it would treat it as word string. That's a default behavior. But that's what ideal case, right? Vipula?
mm, okay.
Do you expect any integers as part of header?
No, no, not
Logically, no.
integers, but we don't see like they will be having this double quotes, right? So that's why I'm asking. Like when we load in
Oh, for
any
integer
file.
type. Okay. Okay. If you
No,
take
when
integer
you open
type,
that,
yeah.
no, no, not integer
No,
type.
Narasimha.
Even
So
C2,
what?
C3 is there, right?
Yeah,
So
Yes,
what
please.
Vipula is saying is the headers, right? So headers
Mhm.
are in the double quotes.
double quotes, yeah, double quotes.
Okay, it is enclosed with the double quotes. This one.
Yes.
That's a default. With the test qualifier, we specify double quote, right?
Okay.
It's a double quote.
But can the service cannot? I mean, like we already told, the data part starts from the two, right? Line two. So,
Mhm.
is it like default
But
nature
these
that
properties
even the
application include header. Vipula. This
okay,
qualifier applies even for header also.
okay,
If you want to take out, right, then by we cannot do it here directly. We can just write on script, header script, whatever, right? In that we can take care. Yep. Vipula. Just like
yeah,
take out this quotes before, after, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So that's it, guys, about simple example. So we started with this practical part of it. You guys can just practice and ask questions tomorrow. So that's all for today, guys. So we'll continue from it tomorrow. Yeah, fine.
Sure, Narasimha.
Narasimha,
So
one more
now,
question, just one more question.
yes, please.
Yeah, so this is
Thank you.
not related to this topic. Like Informatica, IICS, there are two modules, right? Like CDI and CAI. So, which one will be covering as part of this training?
Both.
Oh, both we are covering.
Yes.
So, first, what
Yeah.
is it like CDI we are starting?
We started on that CDI, customer data
CDI, this is a
integration.
CDI, right? Okay, okay.
Yes. What we did to the data integration, right? This is part of CDI.
Yes, CDI, okay, data integration. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm
Now,
good.
yeah, I'm just trying to stop here so that it will go down. Yeah. Yes, Vipula, go ahead, please.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Any questions from others? Ali and Vinod?
I'm good.
Fine. Okay, then we'll
We'll be
continue from
starting
here.
from Monday, right?
Oh, no, that's a good question. How about weekends, guys? If you guys are okay, I'm okay. I don't have any problem.
No, I
Ali,
think
yes, Vinod, do you have some work on weekends?
yes. I mean, like we'll have like some personal stuff going on, right?
Okay,
So I think, yeah,
fine then. So then we'll continue on Monday morning, right? India Monday morning, 6 a.m. IST. Yeah.
okay. So so I stay in US, so it's daylight savings. So just wanted to check
Okay.
like so how it works. So we'll be starting with the same time, right?
Same time. So 6 a.m. IST, Indian time will follow. So you guys can
Mhm.
take care. EST, whatever, PST, whatever, your time zones,
Sure.
right? You guys can, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay. So let's follow IST so that there won't be any
Yeah. Yeah.
confusion, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. Thanks to all. So we'll meet on Monday morning. Yeah, 6 a.m. Fine, right? To
Yeah.
all.
Sure. So
In case of any change, you can just send
yeah.
an
Okay.
email so that we'll change it accordingly. Yeah. Fine. Thanks to all and bye.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks.
Vasu.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.